You want chaos scenarios in college football this year? Let me go right to what I think has been the biggest hidden key the last 10 years in this sport. That's the state of Florida. And so a chaos scenario would sound like this. What if Miami, Florida State, and Florida all finish below expectation level this year? I have told you many, many, many times on this show that although the landscape has changed with NIL/portal, the state of Florida has been the most important sort of fulcrum, if you will, in college football, because what I've watched nobody really put a death grip on the state from a talent acquisition standpoint, because none of those teams have won consistently enough. And because of that, a lot of the in-state talent has left. So whether it's Ohio State winning a title or Georgia winning a title or Bama winning a title, the rosters are littered with players from the state of Florida. That Bama team, the 2020 team, I think their entire defensive backfield was from the state of Florida. So my observation has been if anyone could get their act together down there, or, God forbid, 2 or 3 of them at the same time, and keep a lion's share of the in-state talent at home, not only does it boost them, but think about what it does. You just take 1 or 2 elite players off of those other rosters. What happens? Well, anyway, in the aforementioned chaos scenario this year, we've got all 3 finishing below expectation level. So the first thing I think about at Florida State is if Florida State's below expectation level, is Norvell gone? And I would think the answer would be yes. Now, mind you, this is not some prediction or a wish. It's just in the interest of the glass half empty possibilities out there. I would think that would happen, and I would also think, is it the kind of season where it falls apart late? Or is it the kind of season where in week 1, they play Bama to start the season. So did they get blown out in week 1? And the entire rest of the season kind of feel dead on arrival? Or did they play competitively in week 1, but then, falter down the stretch? They play Clemson, Vatech, NC State, and Florida to finish the season. 3 of those 4 are on the road. So either way, if they finish below expectation level, I've got to think there are changes at the head coaching position down there. Now, at Florida, it's a little bit different because Napier got rid of a lot of the hot seat talk at the end of last year because they won. And there's a lot of hype around the team. Of course, they got a tough schedule. I think they've got the toughest in the country this year, right there, them in Oklahoma. But if Florida finishes below expectation level, well, that could mean they won 7 games. Their over-under win total 7.5. So Florida could go 7-5. And I got to know a few things. Did they lose a bunch of close games? Was there injury to Lagway at any point in the year, kind of like there was last year? Did schedule/injury luck play a predominant role in it, or did they just play poorly? Did they get blown out several times? I would need to know that. Now, if Florida's sitting there 4-8, then the bottom fell out. And then that's a whole different ballgame. But I'm not quite as sure about what the after effects would be with Florida as I am with Florida State. And then with Miami, hey, quick timeout. Check and see if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you're not, I humbly ask that you click subscribe. It's free. It doesn't sign you up for anything. What it does is it helps us keep this show free so we can just do college football year-round. All right, back to the clip. Look, if Miami finishes below expectation, or I can't say the word, expectation level tonight. If they finish below expectation level, I don't know, the conversation sounds the same as it would at Florida State, only because there's way more leash for Mario at Miami, rightfully so, than there is to this point with Mike Norvell at Florida State. But here would be the facts. The facts would be that's 4 years in the can and no appearance in the ACC championship game and no appearance in the playoff. If Miami finishes below expectation level, I would say that's probably finishing 8 wins or less. I would assume in this scenario the whole Carson Beck experiment didn't play out, and that would underscore a lot of the criticism that people would have there, and that is we didn't have any of our homegrown guys ready to step up. That's the entire reason we had to go get Carson Beck. That would be what a lot of the talk was. If the guys that you went and got out of the portal, say at the receiver position, didn't pan out, a lot of the criticism would be, well, why didn't we have guys just in the pipeline ready to go? Now, I don't think it would be hot seat talk at all. So it would be way different than Florida State. But here would be the point. The point would be not if 1, 2, but all three. If all three of those finished below expectation level, you've still got the same problem, quote unquote, that you've had for a while, and that is players in the state of Florida are not looking around and seeing a viable opportunity to play for a national championship in their home state should they choose to stay home, which is kind of a shame. So, if you're a fan down there, selfishly root against this, but that would be pretty chaotic too, I would say.